I'm back. I'm back, baby. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, the return. Episode 1640. It's been a couple days. I'm still, you may hear it in my voice a little bit. I'm not as deep as I was on Wednesday morning, but here I am. I'm still I still woke up, felt like shit this morning again. This is like day 7. I think it's technically day 6, really day 7, but day 1 was I was too tired and exhausted to realize it. Well, that's probably what got me sick. I don't know if I do know one of our guests at Thanksgiving came to Thanksgiving dinner either still sick or coming off a really bad cold, basically what I have. And so that's where it could have got into me. And of course, being around people all weekend and not getting any sleep all weekend probably had my immune system weakened and took full effect on my body. So I'm still recovering. My breakfast this week has been ibuprofen, because I've had like the headache from the stuffed up, but I feel a little better right now because I just took it. This is going to be TMI. I hope you're not eating breakfast right now because I took a hot shower this morning and man, did that clear me out. I was farmer blows in the shower this morning. And colorful. So I'm feeling better. A little bit better. I'm actually drinking real coffee this morning. I was running low and I still haven't reordered my Royals 417 driving through BK. All right. Well, forget about what I just said. Erase that from your memory. So I'm drinking real coffee. My wife reminded me before she left. My wife's in Florida for like 2 weeks total. And her and her mom were down there like shopping every day. And before she left, she's like, "Oh, you need to order more mushroom coffee." And I'm like, "Oh no, I've got bags." Because they keep sending you bags like Columbia House CDs. If you don't turn in that postcard, they keep sending you these damn CDs and then they charge you $30 back in 1995. So I'm like, and she's like, "No, I emptied all of the bags into the canister." And I'm like, "Oh shit." So I had like a few days worth left. And guess what? Yesterday was my last day of it. And guess what? I haven't reordered. I'm an idiot. I did look it up though. Apparently they sell it at Target and Walmart. So I may make a run this afternoon. But I'm drinking Dunkin' coffee. I had Dunkin'. I keep Dunkin' in the house for people every once in a while when people come. Well, my mom was here and she drinks coffee. So I'm drinking, and I do drink coffee like real coffee on occasion. Like when we're out of town or if I'm like just a few weeks ago when I was at the Chicago Spectacular, I'm in the drive-thru getting McDonald's coffee. So it's not like it's completely like, "Oh my God, it's real coffee. I'm wired." It's not like that. If I drink enough, it's like that. But I'm going to keep it to my Buc-ee's mug. And there we go. So real coffee this morning, which I might, the extra caffeine kick I might need. Try to get me over this bullshit that I've got going in my head. So what else has been going on? So my wife's been out of town, so I've been eating garbage, garbage in, garbage out. It's I'm living that this week. And I did something for the first time last night. Did something for the very first time. It's almost shocking that I've never done this before. What did I do last night? I ordered DoorDash. I have never ordered from DoorDash. I had a little bit of inspiration. I was watching what podcast was I watching? I was watching a podcast yesterday as I was shipping, and they were talking about how they spend money and they feel like delivery, like I'm not going to order DoorDash. I'm like, yeah, I feel the same way. 6 hours later, here I am downloading the DoorDash app. I think it put the bug in my ear. See, that's how we can be influencers without even knowing it. So last night I wanted wings. I don't know why. I think when you have this crud, it makes you hungry. It's like it's man colds are in the similar vein as pregnancy cravings. Like we get man cold cravings. And I was having a man cold craving last night. Wings. Like I want some fucking wings. So, but I don't want to leave the house. I didn't want to leave the house. I use Ernie as the excuse, but I leave Ernie. Like if I'm just going to pick something up, I can, like Ernie's he's trustworthy to an extent. Don't leave baseball cards on the floor. He's not trustworthy. You can leave the house. Just make sure nothing that he's gonna. But other like he won't get into other shit. Like we got the Christmas tree up. He's cool with the Christmas tree. He's not gonna fuck with it. Usually he just kind of lays down and chills while I leave the house. My wife's like, no, you've got to put him in the crate when you leave. It's his safe place. And I'm like, I don't think he thinks it's his safe place. I think he thinks it's jail and we're never coming back to get him. I think that's what he thinks. He doesn't like it when we put, if he liked it, he'd get excited. He doesn't get excited. It's taken a shorter amount of time for me to convince my wife that he's okay not being put in the crate because he's a year and a half old now. Which I was Biscuit was probably 2.5 before I finally convinced my wife. And Biscuit hated her crate. And we had friends come in and they brought their dog, which awesome dog. I can't remember. Jules was the dog's name. I think Jules might still be alive. So Jules would be probably like 13. So she's probably still alive, little dog, but Biscuit passed away early, heart failure. Anyway, so my friend Kyle and his wife came and brought Jules, and they're like, yeah, Jules, like we leave her, she's okay and she's chill. And I'm like, yeah, Biscuit's chill. And it's like, it took a little convincing, but my wife's like, okay. So we left the dogs, and guess what? The house didn't burn down. Everything was okay. So from that point on, no more crates. So I've been able to convince my wife, like, remember Biscuit? Like it's okay. We can leave. She's like, I think my wife still puts him in the crate, but now when I'm not leaving, like I'm not going to catch up with buddies at the bar for 4 hours. Like I'm running to Walmart to buy mushroom coffee or wings, but I didn't want to leave the house last night. So I'm like, I want some wings. So I'm looking up I'm like, what's the best wing places in Madison? And so it spits out some answers. And I'm like, okay. So the first one I'd never heard of. And then after it was delivered, I'm like, oh, I know where this is. It's called Whiskow Pizza and Wings. So I want it, and you can only order it for pickup. And I'm like, I don't want to do pickup. So then I went to Wingstop was my second choice. They don't have delivery either. I'm like, Jesus. But I want wings. And then all of a sudden, it's that little bug in my ear from that podcast earlier in the day that I was listening to talking about I'm not going to spend money on DoorDash and pay twice as much. And it actually wasn't that much. Like after tip, it was like $30, which I know sounds a lot, but I got 20 wings. Like I couldn't even eat. And they're not like little puny wings. They're like good sized wings. I only ate like 12. They came in 2-pack. And when they came in 2 like things, I'm like, oh, they think I'm eating for 2. Oh, they think 2 people ordered this. I'm like, oh shit. I can't eat all of these. 20 wings is a lot. And when they're like good size, they're not like little small wings. Like they were good sized wings. So I ate 10, and then I could use one more. I think I might have ate 2 more. So I ate like 12 wings, which is a good, like that's a one sitting. Like 12 is like a good one sitting for a medium sized wing. They weren't like big honking wings, but they weren't little puny wings either. So where was I going with this story? But I ordered DoorDash. So it was $30 for 20 like good medium sized wings. And you got like a bunch of sauce. Like you could, and sauce was on the side, which they're smoked wings with sauce on the side. And I'm like, I kind of like them already sauced. No, not the case last night. I actually liked dipping them in the sauce. I just got regular barbecue sauce and blue cheese. And that was good enough. So after like $30 after tip for 20, and they were good wings. It wasn't like, they didn't taste like sometimes Buffalo Wild Wings, like, they were good. Like, I enjoyed them. They probably come from the same place. They probably come from Cisco, just like everything else, but they were good. So I didn't feel as bad. Plus, I was going to spend the money anyway. It's like, I'm going to splurge on wings tonight. So first time. So I downloaded the DoorDash app, and I'm like, oh my God, it opened my eyes. Because my wife and I, we never can decide what we're going to have for dinner. And then when it comes to takeout, we can never decide which of the 4 places that we only go to we're going to have. What are you in the mood for? Well, we had sushi 3 days ago. I don't want to do Mexican. My wife doesn't want to do Chinese. Okay, that leaves us with, what's the 4th place? I don't know. So at least with DoorDash, like, we can order anything. What do you want to order? DoorDash it. So this could be dangerous. I was doing pretty well eating until Thanksgiving. And now my wife's out of town. And you know what that means? Wings and pizza. I did have rice and vegetables one day. One day I had rice and vegetables. But I did get some fruit. I've been eating blueberries and cantaloupe. I got some avocados and bananas. I'm sprinkling some good food in there. So that was my week. So yeah, just dealing with this damn crud. Hopefully it's on the way out. The good thing about the crud is it's like a double-edged sword. Like, I have zero, like, sometimes it's like after a long day of selling baseball cards, it's like, oh man, sending those eBay messages was brutal. You want a cold beer. Like, I have like a cold beer. It's also 9:30 in the morning. So a cold beer at 9:30 in the morning doesn't sound good. But if it were 9:30 at night's too late. If it were 5 o'clock, be like, man, a cold beer sounds good. Doesn't. Like, it's like, no. Ooh. But wings and pizza sound delicious. So it's like, you don't have a beer, but you eat a pizza. A little give and take. So what else has been going on? I did do a couple eBay lives this week. When was I think my last Hobby Evolution was Wednesday. I talked about the Cyber Monday. I felt like complete shit on Monday and Tuesday. I felt a little better Wednesday, but it was also Allen Ginter Day. So pulled some good hits. Pretty much everything is sold with the exception of my Steve Garvey, the gold relic. I've got it priced at like 50 or best offer. I'm just going to keep dropping the price on that till it sells. But I've doubled my money, and I'm okay doing that because I have doubled my money. The 2 big hits sold. The Jacob Wilson patch auto sold for $250. The Johnny Bench sold for $150. Those were the 2 buy it nows, and then the Garvey still on my in my store. I did really well on the eBay live. I mean, some stuff went for really high amounts. A Yankees partial team set sold for $93. $93 for night. I think there's 21. I think there's 21 cards in the Yankees set, base and short prints. And I sold 19 of the 21. One that I was missing was the Jazz Chisholm base card. And then the short print was like Joe DiMaggio, I think. But it had the Mantle, the Ruth, the Gehrig, all the others, the Jeter, the Judge, all that. But still, $93, a little crazy. The Brewers team set, 5 cards, sold for $36. But then there were other team sets that sold for $1. I think was it the Reds team set? There was one with like a good, like a highly collected bought player that sold for the team set sold for $1. I think the Giants, the Willie Mays sold for, did it sell for $7? The Willie Mays base card. And then the team set sold for, I think, $4. So it was, and then towards the end of the night, everything was selling for $1. So I'm glad. In some cases, I like to front load my auctions with the really good stuff at the beginning. When people are bidding, it's like, okay, people are bidding. Like, let's not drag this out. Like, let's feed them the good stuff. And then all of a sudden, when things start to tank, that's when we start throwing in the bargain box fodder. So all in all, it was great. Doubled my money. I, kept all the Cubs. I still have a box somewhere of the base. I've got a stack of inserts. Like, all these are inserts plus more. I've got a bunch of the rainbow foils. I've got some chromes. I've got most of the minis still. So all in all, it was good. And I'm in. If you watch the Dollar Box videos, they have a Discord, and I kind of lurk in there, and I pop in and chat every once in a while. And somebody wanted my opinion on Allen Ginter yesterday, so I provided my opinion on is Allen Ginter worth it? And that's a loaded question, no matter what the product is. All in all, I don't think any unopened product in today's market is worth it. But there can be exceptions. So my thoughts, this is my personal opinion on Allen Ginter. I would not buy a box or I bought 4 boxes. I would not buy 4 boxes or a single box simply to resell with the purpose of making money. Fool's errand. If you like the product and enjoy opening it and don't care if you lose money, like taking that little risk, that little gamble, then yes, it's worth it. And that's where it falls for me. I love Allen Ginter. I will buy boxes, a case. The last 2 years, the reason I didn't buy a case this year is because I don't do buy it nows for the most part. I'm not listing $1.99 cards in my eBay store. So I would have, I bought 4 boxes and I have a 800 count box filled with Allen Ginter. And it's like, how in the hell am I going to get rid of this? Well, I'll lot it up and, I'll move it. But if I had a case, I'd have a 4-row box filled with Allen Ginter leftovers. And so it, crushes the margins. So there's a lot of nostalgia with Allen Ginter, and I'm not selling as a buy it now. So I'm limiting what I buy. The last 2 years, I bought a case of Allen Ginter, 2023 and 2024, and I got crushed. I didn't get any case hits. I bought 4 boxes this year and got basically 2 case hits. The Johnny Bench auto number to 25 would be a highlight in, most cases. And then the Jacob Wilson are basically an RPA. Same. Last year, I did not pull a single card that sold for over $100 in an entire case. And I pulled 2 this year in 4 boxes, in a third of the amount I opened. So it's a gamble with anything. Any product is a gamble, especially today with the way prices are. So if you like taking the risk and you're okay losing money and you like the product, yeah, buy it. If you simply just want to make money, no. And you shouldn't buy any. If you're simply looking to make money, don't buy any. And I shouldn't be preaching like that, but that's my opinion. My opinion, I wouldn't do it. I should rephrase it because I hate it when people say, don't do this, you'll lose money. You can, but I would not. So that's my thoughts on Ginter. Thursday night, I did vintage night. Holy shit, was that crazy. I was concerned because I didn't really promote it that well. I didn't promote it that well. In fact, I don't think I created it until the day before, maybe even the day of. I didn't put any preloaded listings in. I'm like, I'm kind of taking a risk here. And boy, did it pay off. Some stuff went for crazy. The higher end stuff went for, some I made a little bit of money on. I took some small losses. And this was from another podcast I listened to, the No Bangers podcast. I really enjoy it. Tim from Over the Years, Rod, Picking and Punching, and American Arbitrage Carry. And the funny thing is, we listen to, and if you're listening to me, you probably, unless you're hate watching and you disagree with everything I say, you probably agree with some things I say. I highly doubt you agree with everything I say. But there are some people, like, we agree for the most part, and we can, oh, he's going to talk about blowing snot in the shower. I don't want to hear that, but you put up with it. So the No Bangers podcast, and they're resellers. So from the root, we all probably have similar opinions because of we're resellers. And then you can break it down like, I really agree with this person's take. I don't really agree with this person's take. So the funny thing is the Carrie's just kind of chill. Carrie's Switzerland. And I know Carrie. We hung out quite a bit at Collecticon down in Dallas a couple of years ago. We were I feel like we were the only sports card guys at the entire Collecticon. And so we hung out a lot there was one bargain box, autograph box at the Collecticon. And like we spent all day there. We were hanging out in the hotel, the hotel restaurant. And so we were able to hang out quite a bit. Awesome dude. Love Carrie. And but Rod and Tim are definitely the most opinionated on this podcast. And I tend to lean, in most of the opinions, I tend to lean toward Rod with his takes. Because some of Tim's takes are a little out there. So there was one this week about cost average. And so Tim's all about the cost averaging. Like, I paid $1.42 a card. And like I do in certain instances, I do agree with that methodology, but not for the most part. So like I bought this box of slabs. You can't see, it's behind me. Pretty much like just not junk slabs, but just kind of a mishmash, a lot of vintage, sevens from 76 tops. And then some of the stars are a little lower grade. And then there's some off, like Gem Mint 10, but it's an off grade slab. And it's kind of an off, 78 TCMA card. Now that I dollar cost average because I got it in a bulk deal. I paid $1,000 for this whole box. There's about 100 slabs. I paid about $10 a slab on this. And that's kind of what when I was going through, flipping through, it's like, okay, I'm probably not going to get $10 or, a lot of this I'm probably going to get right around $10 a slab, but there's some stuff in here that I'm probably going to get 50 for. So I feel plus that dollar cost average of $10 per set, it's easy to remember. I know exactly where I got this and I know what I paid for it. But then there's other circumstances, like if I go to the Chicago Sports Spectacular and I'm buying, a stack of dollar cards or quarter cards, and then I buy a 55 Bowman Mantle and Johnny Bench, I'm not going to dollar cost average that. So I just like, it's like, no, I didn't pay like at the Spectacular. Like I probably paid $10 a card, but I spent $300 on this mantle and $250 on this Hulk Hogan autograph. It's like, is it fair to assign a $10 value? Plus, if you're doing your taxes like that, don't do that. Like, I'm going to preach that. Don't do that. You're going to spend all day doing paperwork and spreadsheets, trying to figure out your average cost and assigning values. Go buy a 4-row box or fill your car up. How are you assigning a value to that? Goodwill pallet. One number. I paid $800 for this Goodwill pallet. I paid whatever $1,000 I spent in the Spectacular. Boom. And then I kind of have an idea. And a lot of times the stickers on it's like, oh, I paid $300 for this. I paid $20 for this. $5, whatever the case may be. So those were some of the podcasts. Some of the things that it's like, yeah, I really agree with that point. I don't agree with that point. So those were a couple of the things. So eBay Live. So I was thinking about that. It's like, what did I spend? What did I make on that live stream? And I did really well. I tried a live stream last night. eBay Live was having a bunch of glitches. Here's the irony in all this with eBay Live. Just yesterday afternoon, eBay Live sellers received a survey. Basically like, what's the best thing you like? They probably wanted they hear so many like complaints, glitches, this, that, the other. That what's your favorite thing? Like, let's spread some positivity. What's your favorite thing about eBay Live? So they just sent a survey, and I'm like, I left some glowing reviews, but I also had some like, okay, like in some of it's like seems to be common sense. Like one of my biggest takes on eBay Live is there's got to be like a standalone app. It's got to be more like the other live selling platforms. And I'm sure that's in the long-term plans. It's going to take a long time to build up the infrastructure. eBay Live is only like literally, you could say it's 6 months, 8 months old, 9 months old. Yes, it's been around for 2.5 years, but those first 2 years, nothing. Like there was nobody assigned to it. Now they have an entire infrastructure of employees that are only focused on eBay Live. That didn't happen until several months ago. So it's going to take a while to build this thing out. But I still want that feedback to be heard. Like, hey, like let's make this happen. Because I think that's part of the user experience is poor because it's not easy to find eBay live streams. It's kind of clunky. So I left that feedback. And then there was I can't remember what the question was, but it was basically what are the 3 things that need to be improved on. And one of the things was glitches and poor service or something. And I'm like, we haven't had glitches in like over a month. So I left that not checked. I checked a couple other boxes. And lo and behold, we get a night full of glitches last night. So I went live. I was watching Geo, Sports Card Nonsense. He's with DC Sports. DC Sports is now on eBay Live. And I'm like, man, I don't want to go up against DC Sports on eBay Live. But it's like, you know what? At the beginning, I didn't want to go up against ComC. And now I beat their numbers. Get more viewers than ComC. And it's like, I'm not worried about ComC. And then once I started watching what DC was running last night, I am no competition to them, and they are no competition to me. I am selling dollar cards. They are selling $8,000 cards. They had a Kobe auto that sold for, I think it sold for like $6,000 last night. They had a Luka RPA. They had, I think, a Jordan rookie last night. So we are not the same. So after I saw some of the auctions they were on, I'm like, we're okay. I'm going to be okay running this live stream tonight. So I started at 7:30, just go a little later. And I can usually tell if there's Wednesday night, Allen and Ginter release day. I had like 50 people in the room off the bat. I'm like, wow, this is pretty crazy. Vintage night, same thing. Last night, 6 people. That's usually when I see the glitches, is when there's like hardly anybody coming into the room. And because I'd say on average, like 25, like boom, right off the start, 25 is kind of a good number at the beginning. So when I see 6, 7, 8, I'm like, there's something going on. But I'm like, maybe it's Friday night. It's Christmas season. There's holiday parties. Everybody's watching DC. Maybe it's just that. So I had started a couple minutes early. So I'm just kind of doing some stuff. And I check back in like right at the top of the hour at 7:30, the bottom of the hour. Check right back in as we get to go live. Like 7 people in the room. I'm like, and like nobody's coming in the room. This is exactly what happened when there were site-wide glitches a month ago or 2 months ago, whenever it was. I'm like, fuck. I didn't even think about that, though, at the time last night. So I start running some stuff. I ran like a Nolan Ryan insert from Ginter. Normally, that thing would sell for 3, 4, 5, sometimes more. But I knew with 7 people in the room, we're not going to get that action. So I'm like, it might go for $1. It didn't. Next thing up, didn't go for $1. It's like, okay, please, the 7 of you that are in the room, please tell me what you want me to put up reasonably. I'm not going to put up a 55 Bowman Mickey Mantle. Reasonable request here. And crickets. And then I put a few things up. Some things, I think I did sell a couple things for like $2, $3. I'm like, okay, we got some action. And there ended up being like 15. And then all of a sudden I got like 15, 20 people in the room. And auction number 9 wouldn't start. And this is where the glitches start. Auction number 9 wouldn't start. I'm like, okay, I can't get this to start. That used to happen early on. You'd get that message and you just keep trying and it'd finally take, and then you'd be okay. Wasn't the case last night. So I tried multiple times. I'm like, okay, I'm going to refresh my screen, come back, boom, still wouldn't work. Then all of a sudden, boom, it starts. No bids. Okay, all right. And it was something that somebody requested. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, nobody's bidding. And I see the chat. I can't bid. It's not letting me bid. I'm like, then all of a sudden, doesn't start. I'm like, what the hell? And then people were coming in. It's other streams are having the same issues. I'm like, oh my God. So I don't have the patience. Credit to those people that work through those, because I don't have the patience for that. I am one of the most impatient people there is. I have no patience. And so I'm like, I don't even know. Like, all right, we're going to try this again tomorrow. I've got a few orders left to ship, like that 70s card shows order. And I'll probably try like a 5-second fire sale this afternoon. I'll go live tonight. Got to get them scheduled. We'll do a sale tomorrow night. So yeah. So it's like, so I emailed my eBay rep, and I'm like, hey, just because sometimes when there were site-wide glitches, like when it was like 2 months ago, whenever it was, a couple months ago, I emailed my rep and he's like, oh, I haven't heard anything. There's no reports. And it's like every stream I've walked into has had these. So not everybody is reaching out to eBay that's having these glitches. And it's like, oh, eBay probably knows. eBay doesn't always know. So I made sure, and he did respond last night. He's like, yeah, it looks like there were some glitches throughout the night. So thank you, John. I appreciate that. Let's go to the chat. I haven't gone to the chat yet. I'm a lot to catch up on, not going for a couple days. Where are we at? JK Cards, what's going on? Good morning. Royals 417, listening while driving to a wrestling tournament. Are there going to be like body slams and pile drivers? Or is it a different kind of wrestling tournament? Or is it a Jello wrestling tournament? Driving through Burger King, thanks. Todd's in the house, good morning. Evelyn is here. Job application, what's going on? I'm not hiring right now, although I should be. Cooter, good morning. Your basement is your crate. It is. It really is. And I love my crate. Although I was having a conversation with Ernie this morning. That's when I know it's like, I should probably get out of the house. Maybe Monday. I do plan on, I've bought so much over the last couple of weeks. I have plenty of inventory. Famous last words. It's like mushroom coffee. I've got plenty of mushroom coffee. And then all of a sudden, I'm out of mushroom coffee. I'm out of inventory. So I do have plenty of inventory for the next couple of days. But I was looking at the card show calendar, and my wife's still going to be gone next weekend. I think she gets back a week from Tuesday or Wednesday. But I have to get so I think today I'm going to get some shipping done, and then I've got to get my card room. I've got shelf space. Thank you to Shane for helping me unload a bunch of boxes to get some shelf space. I've got some other shelf space. By the way, speaking of shelf space and Shane, and 8 years ago on the Blowout forums, there was somebody that was trying to move 300,000 cards. This is back in 2017. I don't even know if I had started my Cubs collection yet, my project, my 1 million Cubs project yet. So he had posted on the Blowout forums, local pickup, 300,000 cards. And I'm like, man, I wish I was local. And then I see his thing, DeKalb, Illinois, which is less than 2 hours from me, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And I'm like, holy shit. So I message him. I'm like, dude, I'm interested. It was $150, steal. That also helped me build a nice little nest egg to do this full time because there were a ton of ace tennis cards, complete sets with Novak Djokovic rookie cards, which actually still sell. They went up to $125 to $150 per card during COVID, I check every once in a while to see where they're at, just to see, I bet they're $20 now. No, they're still like 100 plus. There were probably 20 of them, and I sold them all for between 100 and 150. So that really put a nice little start to doing this full time. Yeah, I know $2,000 isn't that much, but it was when you're selling 99-cent cards. And there was other stuff in there, but there was a ton, and I mean a ton, of Oklahoma Sooners cards. And if you've been watching Hobby Evolution for 1,640 episodes, you've probably heard me talk about the 2011 Upper Deck or 2008-9 Upper Deck, whatever year they were from, Oklahoma Sooners cards. Because I ended up buying a few carloads from this guy. I think his name was Zach. And another Zach that I didn't do, different Zach from the deal that fell through this week. And ended up buying, and there was always Oklahoma Sooners. And like by the second or third one, I'm like, do you have to include the Oklahoma Sooners? And he's like, if you want it all, you have to take the Sooners cards. I'm like, my God, I've got like 500,000 of these. I've literally thrown boxes of these away. Like they're in like the priority, like large flat rate boxes, like the original priority large flat rate boxes that are larger than what they are now. So I still have like an entire shelf in my card room that I don't really feel like I should throw any more away. But I've added a few of these. Every bulk, like carload, truckload that I've sold, I've thrown a couple of these boxes into it just to try. And I still have a shelf full of it. It's like, how in the hell am I going to get rid of these? Throw them away, I guess. But I just, I don't want to throw too many away. Anyway, the guy that I bought them from sent me a message on eBay yesterday. And he's like, hey, I don't know if he's like, hey, are you the Cubs guy? And I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, I don't know if you remember me, but you bought a whole bunch of, a couple times you bought a whole bunch of cards for me, like almost 1 million cards. He's like, including all of those Oklahoma Sooners cards. And I'm like, oh, I remember the Oklahoma Sooner lots. I remember. And he's like, would you sell one of those boxes? Do you have any left? Would you sell one? And I'm like, would I sell one? You goddamn right I will. So I'm gonna put something on eBay. And I was selling like flat rates of them like around that time, like 2018, 2019. And they would be on my eBay store year round. And I'd usually sell like 3 or 4 of them around Christmas. And then crickets, maybe one would sell at various points, maybe around college football's kickoff. And, but I still have a bunch, and I'm like, yeah, we'll get a deal work just so I can get them out of my house. All right. Back to the chat. Gundy, what's going on? Good morning. Tiger727 is here. Good morning. Max says, can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. That's true. Todd says, your feeling on DoorDash is how I feel about eBay app. Man, is that dangerous on my phone? It is. It is. And especially once you peel the Band-Aid off, and then it's like, well, I bought that. I can buy this. I kind of see that type of buying behavior during the live, where the early on, like I'll have 40 people in the room, but it's like nobody's bidding. But all of a sudden, when there's action, it's like it's an invitation for everybody to be like, oh, I'll bid. But it's always like that first. You don't want to be the first person to turn in your test. It's like, did I turn my test in too early? I don't know. Some people thought that. Sometimes I would. But usually I was a poor student, didn't study. And I didn't want to be the first one to turn in the test like, oh, he failed. Because it's like I think in my class, there were a lot of smart kids in my class. There were a lot of dumb kids in my class too. But it's like if you were the first and you knew, like if Heather was walking her test up 5 minutes later, like she fucking knew that shit. Like she knew, like A+. Heather just aced it. If Jay's walking up there, first one, ooh, Jay's getting a 20%. I am using real names. Sorry, Jay. Jay was not a very good student. Found treasures in the house. Good morning. Recep, what's up? Neighbor, Am Turkey. Max says, I can't do those guys. They can barely talk cards, or at least barely could when I watch a couple episodes. Most annoying thing out there. I'm not sure which one that is. Tom's in the house. Good morning. East Coast Tom is here. Cooter says, FYI, I haven't been receiving live notifications. Neither have I. I have not been receiving notifications for other shows I watch, like Sports Cards Grading. My buddies up in Wanakee, Steve and Nick and Sarah, they go live almost every day, and I never receive their notifications. I follow their store, liked their store, still don't get notifications. There's another channel that I buy from like often and never receive their notifications when they go live. Tom didn't get a notification either. Yeah. So, and I wonder if that's the difference, like Wednesday night and Thursday night, where all of a sudden I see this barrage of people. Like, are they getting the notifications? But last night they were not getting notifications. I don't know. John wants to know, have my cards shipped yet? They will be shipping in probably the next hour. I wanted to be done by 10 to watch Hobby Hotline, but I don't know. Who's on Hobby Hotline this morning? Have they arrived yet? Check your mailbox. Who's on Hobby Hotline this morning? We'll see. Because sometimes it just depends on who's on. It's like, do I want to wrap this up and watch Hobby Hotline? Last week was kind of a train wreck with Beckett. I did not. It was kind of it was cringe. Last week's episode. I don't even know if they're live. Today is Saturday, right? I don't think Hobby Hotline's on this morning. Where we at? Dan's in the house. What's going on? John says, you move faster than any other live sellers. The rest act like they're doing prison sentences. I have noticed that. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, just put cards out. Sometimes I'm slow because I don't know. Like, when I slow down, it's because there's not much action in the room. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't want to waste time putting cards up that are not getting bid on. So it's like, okay, if modern football is not selling, I got to find vintage. I got to find 80s and 90s. I got to find something that people want to bid on. So that's what slows me down. But I was in a couple streams last night where it's like, put some damn cards up. And they're just like, well, what do you want? What do you guys want? What's the chat want? It's like, just put something up and you'll find out. Like, just do it. And if there's only 6 people in the room, don't do a slab for, like last night. I did a Jack Caglianone slab, sold for $10. Should have sold. Well, it was an 8. So I think in a normal night, it would have sold for about 20. I probably paid 10 for it anyway. But I'm like, I'm not putting $1 on it because it probably would have sold for 5 if I put it at $1 start. Hell, with the glitches, it might have sold for $1. So I put opening bid $10, sold for $10. But that's what you do. It's like, okay, if there's not much we're not going to do dollar starts. We're going to do, if it's a slab, we're going to do $5 or $10 starts. Dan wants to know what podcast Max is talking about. John thinks my hair looks atrocious. Singlet and earmuff wrestling. Head over to the storage unit for a little me time. There you go. I've got plenty of me time down here. I think I had dinner with Shane a few weeks back. You sure did, at Beckett's dinner down in Dallas. Dan says, I watched The Equalizer 1 and 2. Enjoyed both. Put me down for some free Sooners cards. Oh, you got it. You got it. Rock Latex, what's going on? Please take a picture and post if you ever throw them away, right? It's been, I just did a trash can throwaway a couple of weeks ago. I've got to wait. I don't want people to think I'm like the devil. I don't want actually, I don't give a shit what people think of me. But I don't want to overdo it because then people think I'm doing it on purpose, which I am. Yeah, I'll have to throw. I actually probably will be throwing cards away in the very near future, like within the next couple of days, because I've got to get that card room cleaned up before my wife comes home. Because she's got like 50 women coming over on December 18th, I think, and we got to get that room cleaned. Cooter says, I'm an OU grad and don't want those cards, right? Not many people do. Stu, good morning from the Fargo Dome, Illinois State in the house today. Oh man, that's a ugh. Who's the worst of two evils, the Bison or the Redbirds? Since my alma mater is no longer in the Missouri Valley, I don't. It's like I was looking at the FCS top 25, and I'm like, geez, there's a lot of in Western Illinois. Oh man, they're bad. I mean, they've been bad for a while, but I'm glad they're not bad playing Illinois State and North Dakota State and South Dakota State and everybody else that's in the top 25. Max says, I erased everybody else. LOL. Max says, the one with Carrie. Chris Branham says, did you just say Wanapee? I said Wanakee. Wanakee. I did not say Whippatanye. Whippatanye. I see Texas. Whippatanye. No hobby hotline today, says Carrie. Dan says to Max, did you answer me? I didn't see a lot of comments from others for some reason. I don't know what it's called. Bo does. So Carrie is American Arbitrage, and they do the No Bangers podcast with Rod from Picking and Punching and Tim from Over the Years. I enjoy the podcast. So that's what I had for today. This coffee is really good. I'm drinking regular coffee this morning. The problem is, do I go back for seconds? I don't want to, because I stick to just this mug of coffee. So I've got to package John's order and a few other orders. And then I'm going to do some cleaning. I may do a pop-up eBay live this afternoon, maybe like a fire sale this afternoon, do some bargain box stuff. And I got to get a live scheduled for tonight and Sunday night singles tomorrow night. Nice mug. They paying you? No, they are not. Buc-ee's. Hallmark movie this weekend. So here's the thing about Hallmark movies. I love them, but when I've put the Hallmark movies on, like during the day, like if I'm down here working, that's something else I got to work on. When I'm down here working, I put like during the day, they put the stupid like the sappy, that's terrible, but the sappy, like sad music. I don't like those Hallmark movies. Those are too sappy. I like the less sappy ones. Yeah, I know they're all sappy, but the less sappier ones. I haven't seen many. I had Christmas Vacation on last night. Ernie loves Christmas Vacation. I have never seen Ernie so captivated by television as he was with Christmas Vacation on TV last night. So I know if I'm doing eBay Live, we're going to put Christmas Vacation. Actually, I think the Westminster Dog Show was on last night too. I'll put the Westminster Dog Show on for him. He's in the recliner just watching Christmas Vacation last night. I took like 7 pictures to send to my wife. I'm like, he's still watching TV. He's still watching TV. So I know he's got good taste. He's got good taste. John says, do you have a Buc-ee's promo? I do not. No hobby hotline today is correct. Why is there no hobby hotline? Card hobbyist, what's going on? Buc-ee's is just a distraction to make your trip take longer. That's true. Your wife is away. You don't need to pretend you like Hallmark. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Dan says, have you opened any new baseball wax recently? I did. Allen Ginter came out this week. Opened up 4 boxes. Did an eBay Live on Wednesday night. Highly successful eBay Live. Ernie's new alpha is Cousin Eddie. No one could be the primary host to run the board. No board ops on Hobby Hotline. That's a bummer. I thought with the change to 4 collectors, I thought there would be ample amounts of board operators. There was one other thought that I had that now escapes me. No, I can't remember. I'm going to sit here and think about it for a second. What the hell was I about to? Oh. So I was, that's what she said. So I mentioned a few days ago, last week, I'm using a new, processor for the Madison Card Show. It's called On Treasure. I don't have a promo code for them either. So this is Rich. I don't know, Rich, if you know about this. So one of my vendors at the Madison Card Show wanted to create basically this. And it wasn't coming together. And all of a sudden, Adam from On Treasure reached out and he's like, hey, do you want to be a part of this? And I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. So we set up a Zoom call a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, this actually does more. Like this alleviates so many pain points I have running the show. And it's freaking awesome. It's Treasure. It's on treasure.com. So here we go to the Madison Card Show, December 27th at the Alliant Energy Center. So you can buy your tables. It's password protected right now. It'll be open to the public starting Monday. I wanted existing vendors from the October show. They get first dibs at rebooking their tables. It's got mapping capability where you can, like Ticketmaster or StubHub, you can click on the table you want. So that should be live for Monday once we have everything rebooked. You can go to, here's a little bit of information. It's got, some vendors put work into it, some don't. Like Keto's put some work into his. So just a dad and his kids ripping packs and trading cards. I think his son's name is Colton, who's in the thumbnail there. Colton has freaking ripped some amazing cards. I think I want to buy some wax and have him open it for me because he pulls some heat. So he says, we have mostly modern Pokemon cards from raw to graded, as well as sealed packs and boxes. We also have the Poke Plink game with fun and awesome prizes. And then you can put your socials. So you can click and there's his Instagram. I don't think I'm not logged in. But it opens up his Instagram page. So it's a little bit of everything. It will eventually, it should show like where they're located at the in the store. So here's Flavio, Collectibles International, collecting sports cards for over 50 years, also sell comic books and action figures, selling current baseball products, hobby boxes, baseball rookies, vintage. So Marvel and DC. I didn't know he had Instagram too. Cool. So here's Mark, my buddy Mark, over 33 years experience as a sports card vendor. He sets it up at all the big shows as well. Look at that Michael Jordan autograph. PSA 7, he's got some heat there. So there's so you can put like what you've got on there. Awesome site. Let me see if I can bring up, I'm going to remove this for a second because I don't want to go into the back end. I just don't know the site well enough. Host dashboard. Venue maps. Okay, so. All right. I got to create my venue map. Settings. Shoot. Now I don't know where to. All right. Where in the hell did I find it? I think it's under the host dashboard. I got to figure this out because I was just in here. Host dashboard. Oh, maybe if I go to manage event. There we go. Edit venue map. Okay. So here is. So this is not live on the site yet, but let me share this. So this is the map. So this map will be on the Treasure site, and so you'll be, I want table 1's going to be open. So I want table 1. It's right at the front entrance, and you can click. You'll be able to buy table 1, and then it should also show when you click. It'll show like which vendor is at which table, so you'll be able to cross-reference those tables. So I was doing some editing. Oh, my Adam, my guy, he updated the atrium for me. So I was in here last night. I was going to be doing this today. Like I was going to have to type in all this stuff, and he did it for me. So it's like booth 2-1, 2-3, 1-1. So I had been putting front, back, left, right into all these red squares. but he went ahead and updated that for me. Oh man, Adam's the man. Adam helps treasure. So if you're promoting a card show, running a card show, vending at a card show, look into this website. It's called ontreasure.com. I am a subscriber. There's no coupon codes. Just like Car Dealer Pro, when I used to promote them and I used to promote Fujitsu, Ricoh, I was not getting any kickback until they started to. Like with the 500 free scans, I do get a little kickback on that. Ricoh sends me free scanners when I want them. So, but on Treasure, they're taking my money. By the way, I still pay Car Dealer Pro. Still have my subscription activated. I did downgrade it though. So check it out on treasure.com, Madison Card Show. And for tables, if you did not vend at the October show and you want to vend at the December show, that's going to go live Monday, hopefully at some point Monday during the day. So, all right. Let's see, where are we at? John says there's no board to run. It's not that complicated. That is true. It's just StreamYard, I think. Easier than reheating pizza. Legacy Cards is now on eBay Live. Yeah, there's been a few. DC is now on eBay Live. And they kicked it off with some bangers last night. They're adding some big sellers. And that's going to be the case for the foreseeable future, I believe. I find that interesting. Saber says, Rich says, that appears to be a great site for what I now do. I'm not needing to use that, but if I still run my old show, I would certainly want to utilize that site. I would say for smaller show, it's from the standpoint of booking to having your dealers book tables, it's a giant pain in the ass. Hopefully that's going to be a little better. This is the first time they've used it, just like my website. When I first kicked off payment through my website, it was a pain in the ass for people. It's a pain in the ass for me. But I think as we get used to it, everybody gets used to it. It's going to be better. That's what I keep telling myself. For a smaller show, I don't know if it's worth the hassle. You can put your show on there for free. Like you don't have to pay. And really, I think there's 2 subscription models plans. I have the most expensive one. It's $35 a month, which is about what I pay for Constant Contact, which is fucking ridiculous. It's Constant Contact sucks. I can't wait. And On Treasure does all of that. Like once you have all your vendors and stuff in the Treasure site, you can send out instructions through Treasure. You don't have to go to Constant Contact and fucking make lists and all that bullshit. So I can't wait. I'm still going to have to use Constant Contact for a couple months as I build out the Treasure list. But that'll save me money. It'll save me money on the Madison Card Show Card Show website. I can downgrade because I'm paying a lot of money for having the payment processing on the back end. So it's gonna be good. John says you should add a food section to that vendor list. Dan, I did back in my college radio days. It's been well more than 45 years since I last ran a board, and I don't want to do that at this point of my life. In fact, I engineered a lot of the college basketball games, and I was so good, I would do like breaks between innings to update scores and comment about other things as well. If you have less than 2,000 names on your mailing list, MailChimp is cheaper. I'm already suckered into Constant Contact. And I think I do have less than 2,000 names. I think I only have like 600 or 800. But I also didn't add like I've got like from giveaways. I did a couple shows. I didn't fuck this. Florida baseball card dude, good morning. And you should be able to transfer your list accordingly. I'd like to get, because I'm trying to figure out how to get my like website, because there's people that have opted in on the website to get those transferred over, but I don't know. That's for another day. All right. We're an hour in. How about that? So welcome back to Hobby Evolution. We're back after a couple days. My voice, I can hear my voice sounds better. Like I can still tell there's a little bit of clogginess up there, but I definitely sound a lot better than I feel like I sounded on Wednesday when I did Hobby Evolution. Just hire Rich before ComC goes under. Yeah. What fucking bullshit rumors was that? That was, I don't know. All right. So like and subscribe. Visit my eBay store. By the way, I did add some buy it now items to my eBay store with the, I felt like it was an opportune time to get my Don Mattingly minor league card, my Roger Clemens rookie. I got to get some Barry Bonds up. But the Clemens was something, the Clemens and Mattingly were two cards that I didn't want to run on live because I don't feel the live audience is going to bid those to an appropriate level. Whereas like a Barry Bonds, I think a Barry Bonds probably sells. Here's the thing. Full disclosure. I think the Barry Bonds will sell well above comps on eBay Live. And I think the Roger Clemens and Don Mattingly cards will sell well below comps on eBay Live. That's why I did what I did. So the Mattingly and the Clemens, they're on my Buy It Now section. I'll save Bonds. When is that announcement? I think it's Monday, right? Is the Era ballot results on Monday? Because the winter meetings start tomorrow. Love winter meetings. Love the hot stove season. Rule 5 draft this coming week. I think the Cubs are going to lose a couple pitchers. It'll be one of those like, that sucks, but oh well. You don't really lose much in the Rule 5 draft. Like, take a look at the best Rule 5 picks, and you're not really losing much. Sunday night, before the winter meetings begin. I thought the winter meetings officially started Sunday, at least in previously. Well, let's look it up. Let's look it up. Hall of Fame announcement. Hall of Fame committee announcement. I thought I read December 8th, which would be Monday. All right. Oh, it is tomorrow night. MLB Network, 6:30 Central tomorrow night. All right. There we go. Sunday night. John says, do we know who the 16 people are who are voting? No. Saber usually knows. You are correct, sir. I don't know. Do they release? This is another question for Rich. Do they release who the voters are? Oh, they did. They did announce, but I did not read the article. So this actually can give us a good idea. How many days until the baseball draft? And white hell cares. Baseball draft. They moved the baseball draft, I think. Again, I think it's now. I think next year is the first of the new date. This might be another answer that Rich can give us, but I'm pretty sure the names are out there for the voters. Okay, so who's voting? All right, I've got the MLB article up. This can kind of. Here that is. So candidates need to receive 75% on ballots. 16-member committee to become part of the 2026 Hall of Fame class. The Hall of Fame on Tuesday revealed the names of the members of the voting committee. Hall of Famers Fergie Jenkins, Jim Cott, Juan Marichal, Tony Perez, Ozzie Smith, Alan Trammell, and Robin Yount. MLB executives Mark Atanasio, Doug Melvin, Artie Moreno, Kim Ng, Tony Reagans, and Terry Ryan. And media members, historian Steve Hurt, Tyler Kepner, and Jason Stark. So I wonder, so we can probably get a good idea. Jason Stark has been a Hall of Fame voter, right? So we can probably, let's go in here. Just want to see something real quick. Tracker. We're going to go to the tracker. Let's just go back to 2022. Let's see. Was Stark a voter? Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. Oh, shit. Well, come on. Trying to expand this and it's not working. Well, this is a pain in the ass. Huh. How in the hell can I do this? Click the plus. To expand, retract. Oh, this is such a bitch. Huh. I don't know. I'm trying to see who Jason Stark voted for, but all right, I'm not going to piss around with that anymore. Bowen Heavy Concentration has a serial killer look vibe, right? So there you go. Did I not pronounce Juan Marichal correct? There we go. What's up, T. Keenast? Too many old school Hall of Famers. Yeah, so I'm looking at the list again. So of contemporaries, like who I wonder, like, and I don't know who's been outspoken about steroids. Like who's gonna vote for, like, I don't know. I don't think Gary Sheffield's getting in because he wasn't I don't think he was a very beloved teammate. Mattingly probably gets in. Does Murphy get in? You know, Bonds and Clemens kind of up in the air. But I have no idea. I don't know what any of these players think about, you know. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow night, I guess. Let's see. Chasing Majors says Stark has voted for Clemens and Bonds. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Chasing Majors. Saber Geek says Sheffield is not getting in. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like he should get in, but I can't imagine that committee not going to get in. It's either Murphy Mattingly or Clemens Bonds. I hope it's Clemens Bonds. Although my buddy Shane Zager, during the Beckett dinner, I listened to the audio, and he actually made some good points that I agree with, and it's kind of changed my mind about Don Mattingly and Hall of Fame. It's like, well, Shane made some really good points and actually convinced me that maybe he should get in the Hall of Fame. Murph, I like Murphy. I now like Mattingly, and I definitely, Clemens and Bonds should be in. Like, no doubt about it. 100% should be in. No one has the balls to vote Bonds in. People are cowards. He should be in. Or not one. Southern Land Cards says Bonds, Clemens, Mattingly, Murphy would be a hell of a class. Yeah, wouldn't it? That's what I should be doing this weekend. I should be hoarding. I should be going through boxes, pulling all of these cards in the event they get into the Hall of Fame, because the event they get in the Hall of Fame, their prices in the interim are going to shoot up. I've already seen crazy prices. Now, we've seen crazy prices on a lot of stuff on eBay Live in my streams. Barry Bonds rookies are just going for insane amounts on my stream. We're talking like $25 for an 87 top. Well, I don't know if an 87 tops has gone that high, but the traded has. The 86. Saber Geek says, I think they will get someone in because there is no sure shot. Andrew Jones is the closest to get voted in this year. But I do think this year's ballot, I do think there's going to be at least one on the writer's ballot because was it Jones? Somebody's like very close. 2026. Or 20. Let's look at last year. Okay, so Beltran was at 73.6% last year. Jones was at 70.3%. So I think Jones may come up short this year, but I think Beltran gets in. He was at 73.6% last year. So I think Beltran gets in. So I think Beltran gets in. Let's see. John says, imagine people arguing whether you should get in for 20 years and then getting in as the lesser of two evils, right? The two groups of players will cancel each other out. Chasing Major says, I'm fine if Mattingly gets in, but I'm not a believer he should be in. What's the justification on Mattingly? So I don't want to put words in Shane's mouth, but basically he said in like a 7-year time span, Mattingly was one of the best in baseball in those 7 years, which I've often talked about. Well, he didn't have long. He was only great for, 6-7 years. And then he was just average and even below average a couple seasons. But then it's like, but I also don't believe in accumulators getting in like Harold Baines. Just because you play 22 seasons or whatever it is, and you accumulate a big WAR and all these hits that you should be in just because you played a long time. So I'm more of the Hall of Fame should be that like you were great at you were one of the best in your sport for this period of time. And it can't be 2 or 3 years. It's got to be a little longer. And I think 7 is that good, happy medium where you're not an accumulator where you played 20 seasons just to get 3,000 hits. So, and I like that. Like, and you look at some of the numbers, it's like, well, he didn't hit this many home runs, but he hit X amount of but he hit X amount of home runs, which was leading the league for this 6-7 year period. I'm not specifically talking anybody, but that's just kind of an example I'm using. So when I heard Shane discuss that on that podcast, I'm like, actually, I agree with that. And I changed my tune. Why bother with a Hall? Things have changed. Maybe stop that whole charade. I don't disagree with that. Bonds was a Hall of Famer before the steroids, which is why I'm okay with him getting in. 100% agree. 100% agree. Clemens pre-steroids is in a mix of all sports of people whom are in and some are not. Hobby Hotline is now being held on Hobby Evolution. Beltran. Saber Geek says Jones last year to be voted in. Beltran should get in. Yeah, I think Beltran gets in this year. I think Jones does get in because Jones this is his 8th or 9th year. So Jones might have, I think this is his 8th ballot. So I think Jones will get in. And maybe as soon as next year. I don't think he gets enough this year, but I think we'll see a little bit of an increase in his votes, and then he'll get in either next year or the year after. Now I'm curious, what's next year's class? Because this year's inaugural, like first year blows. Like there's not a player that should be on the ballot, but I know the whole charade that they do. Hall of Fame. Ballot history. All right. So this is 2026. So 2027. All right. So next year doesn't appear to be much better. Oh, wait, no. Buster Posey is going to be on the ballot next year. So I think that's a player that gets in the Hall of Fame. Do I think he's going to get in first ballot? Probably not. I don't think he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he'll get in. John Lester is an interesting case. I know some people in this chat don't like WAR, but I like to use it just to kind of compare. John Lester has the second highest WAR of next year's class. Now, next year's first year class is pretty weak. I'm just talking first of the first year. Buster Posey, 45. And I know pitchers and catchers are different, but 45 WAR for Posey, 43.4 WAR. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't. He has a third. Brett Gardner has a higher WAR. Brett Gardner. So there you go. Wow. Buster Posey has a 45 WAR. Brett Gardner has a 44.3 WAR. So some of the names next year: Starlin Castro, John Axford, Neftali Feliz, Andrew Miller, Starlin Castro, Joakim Soria, Dexter Fowler. Wow, you get some of those 2016 Cubs on that list. Pablo Sandoval, Trevor Bauer. He ain't getting in. Jordan Zimmerman, Jay Happ, Scott Kazmir, Jake Arrieta on the ballot next year. Josh Reddick, Todd Frazier, well, probably on the ballot. Kyle Seager, Ryan Zimmerman, Brett Gardner, Lester Posey. So probably won't have there's not a first ballot. In my eyes, Buster Posey will get in. Now, do I think he's a Hall of Famer? I'd have to do a deeper dive into the numbers. Do I think he will get in? Yes, absolutely. Buster Posey will be voted in to the Hall of Fame. Do I think he will get in on the first ballot? Probably not. Southern Land Card says no new eligibles will get in. This year, it's a no-doubter. Like there's I don't know if there's a name on the list that I think will get 5%. Like what's, let's see, 2026 ballot, year on ballot. Cole Hamels. And Cole Hamels might get to 5%. Ryan Braun, Alex Gordon, Shin Soo Choo, Edwin Encarnacion, Howie Kendrick, Nick Markakis, Hunter Pence, Gio Gonzalez, Matt Kemp, Daniel Murphy, and Rick Porcello. Like Cole Hamels probably gets to that 5% threshold, but does anybody else? No. Nobody gets to 5%. Let's see. Mattingly, the best player in baseball between 1984 and 1990. And yeah, after it's like, okay. And I think that's a long enough period. Which is the Sandy Koufax argument. It's a good point. Max says, yep, that's okay. Need more. John says, maybe baseball sucked in those 7 years. That's also a good point. Koufax, great, 61 to 66. It was small ball era, Whitey ball. Yeah, it was. Everyone was bunting. Max says the same guys that want Mattingly in were saying no to Trout 5 years ago. Yeah, I don't know. Trout's a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer in my eyes. Chasing Major says during Mattingly's MVP year, there were 3 better and more deserving players. Harold Baines, to his credit, basically said, "Are you kidding?" when they told him he was a Hall of Famer. I kind of feel bad. It's like he wasn't out there campaigning for Hall of Fame, and like everybody, including myself, shits on Harold Baines being in the Hall of Fame. Poor guy. Cooter says the Yankees have too many in the Hall already. NYC hype. If you look at Mattingly's MVP season, you'll see he may not have even deserved it. Brett, Henderson, and others actually had better seasons. Travis Bogart says it's a shame players don't get because of their stats. Sheffield and Kent, for example. Yeah, they both have good stats. Saber Geek says 10th and final years for Jones to be voted on. Then we lower to 6 or 5 years. Next thing you know, Joe Charbonneau is in. And that's kind of my argument with Dale Murphy. Like Dale Murphy's one of those he's that fringe guy. And it's like, if you lower the bar, like Dale Murphy's, it's the Mendoza line. It's the Murphy line. If you get Murphy and now there's the next guy up. Who is it? Next guy up. And all of a sudden, Joe Charbonneau's in. So I also agree with John on that. Or John Denny. I think maybe Buster Posey next year, and that's it. Murphy, 2-time MVP. I'm curious, was Murphy a no doubt MVP? We're talking about Mattingly not being the best in his year of MVP. What was the field with Dale Murphy's MVP seasons? Was he a no-doubter MVP in those 2 years? Or was that another one like Don Mattingly? Or Andre Dawson was not deserving of his MVP in 1987. And I hate to say that as a diehard Cubs fan. Rich says Hall of Fame has on their website the list of leading players for each upcoming voting class. I look at Baseball Reference also. Gundy says, although I believe Mattingly deserves to get in along with Murphy, Bonds, and Clemens. Buster. John Fogerty should get in because he wrote a baseball song. Love Posey, but not first ballot. And this is a completely separate argument, but I'll just touch on it briefly. I hate not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Oh, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not. Like, you're either a Hall of Famer or you're not. And when I say Buster Posey's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I'm saying that because that's how people vote. Larry Walker is in the Hall of Fame. Was he a first ballot Hall of Famer? No. Was he a fifth ballot Hall of Famer? No. Was he an eighth ballot Hall of Famer? No. But all of a sudden, he's a 10th ballot Hall of Famer. John Lester has two creepy names. He does. In 28, Molina and Pujols. That'll be a good class. Blech, for me to poop on. Buster may, because of the paucity of good choices. Lester will get in when people realize the world of pitcher stats have changed. Yeah, Lester's one of those guys that will probably be like a 10th ballot Hall of Famer, maybe a little before that. But I think Lester does eventually get in because we always view, and I say we just generally speaking, I think myself included, 5 years have passed and we think like, oh, 5 years, like 5 years, especially the older we get, was like, I'm looking at Jake Arrieta and John Lester are already next year going to be on the Hall of Fame ballot. Like, my God, they were just winning a World Series yesterday. And then a couple more years goes by. And then all of a sudden, 15 years since they retired, we put them in a new light. We put them on a pedestal. Like, oh, John Lester, like, God, he's a Hall of Famer. But 10 years ago, he wasn't. Larry Walker. Cooter says, war, good God. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. The song had it correct. Saber Geek says, Edwin Starr reference. I thought you were wrapping up. I was. And then we start talking Hall of Fame, and it gets me going. I've got cleaning to do. Here I am, ripping the Band-Aid off, talking about the Hall of Fame again. Posey, and we'll probably talk about it again Monday after Sunday night's results. Posey may get in if the vet committee does not put in anyone next year. Ryan Braun is your best player this year. Rollins deserves it before most of them. So does Kenny Lofton, and he was one and done. Posey getting in helps the Munson crowd. Oh, there you go. That's a good point. Max says, why the fuck are some of those names even on the eligible list? Because, and I agree, but they have to have a full ballot. I don't know why. Just to, I don't know, participation trophy. But if you played like a certain amount, like Rich probably can tell us, it's like certain amount of seasons, X amount of stats. I don't know. There's some MLB site has it. I've read it before and I forgot. Kind of like most of my schoolwork. John says Koufax won chips, carried teams on his back. He'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Hunter Pence is my vote for the freak wing of the Hall. Go Giants. The Yankees have had a great privilege of winners, LOL. Hall of Fame isn't a team award. There is always someone on the fence, and it's Murphy now, Joe Carter, next guy up. Hall should be revisited like the S&P 500. Hey, I agree with that. Yes, Murphy was a no-doubt MVP in those years. Okay, it was before my time. Actually, was it 82, 83? Was those his MVP years? I was still in the diapers in both of those seasons. Saber Geek says he was by far the best player in the National League. He was a no-doubter MVP in one of those years. Al Oliver was robbed one year by Murphy. Schmidt would have won in 82, Dale first. Rich is wrong, says John. Rich says, yep, we have Hobby Hotline here at Hobby Evolution. Rich is not wrong, says Rich. Dale should have and did win in 83. Murph was America's golden boy for several years thanks to TBS cable. Oh, there you go. And Andre Dawson was also a golden boy in 1987 because he was coming off the blank check and WGN nationwide access. Gundy says if Lester gets in, Kevin Brown should get in. And Kevin Brown, when I looked, this was brought up a couple years ago when we were talking Hall of Fame here on Hobby Evolution. Actually, I remember this. It was at the old house. in the dungeon. And I remember looking up Kevin Brown's and like holy shit, Kevin Brown has Hall of Fame numbers. Al Oliver was better than Murphy in 1982. Max, he played there 10 years and passed the basic lowest level tests, 82, 83. There's an argument to be made in 82, but not 83. Al Oliver won the batting and RBI title in 82, but Murphy was also playing center field. Oliver was first. All right. Now I'm going to go. We got that out of our system. Did we get that out of our system? We got that out of our system for now. Uh-oh. Kevin Brown was so hated by media and his teammates, so it's good luck to him. Yeah. The Jeff Kent of pitchers in Hall of Fame. I'm sure we'll revisit more Hall of Fame discussion on Monday morning after we find the results tomorrow night. Travis says, Al Oliver should be considered 100%. We'll pick this up Monday morning. We will. All right, so I'm going to go clean. Mattingly played first, disqualified according to Rich. All right, let's go. Like and subscribe. I'll probably do a live at some point today, definitely tonight, and tomorrow night as well. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.